And from Arctic Hope, our dear friend and partner, Stephen Carleton. How are you, Stephen?
Man, I'm doing great. It's great to be with you. Happy to be here in the studio with you virtually.
Well, you know what? You've got a lot of things going on right now. You've been juggling not only the ministry, being a dad, just coming out of a few important missions in the North, but you've also got a great blessing on the way. What's taking place in the Carleton home?
Man, alive. So my wife and I are pregnant. This month, June, we were likely to have our twin girls. We already have three girls. Three didn't seem like enough, so we tried for four, and we got double for our trouble.
Okay. Well, that means that the Lord knows that he's going to bless you with even greater intimacy. So we pray that for you. Stephen, you get an opportunity to travel the North and be right on the ground. And from the standpoint of what's taking place with Arctic Hope, tell us a little bit about Arctic Hope and what are you doing right now in light of COVID-19?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Arctic Hope Project started in 2014. The vision that we have is that God can stop suicide in the North. And so we launched in a community called Cape Dorset. And we started holding youth conferences there, introducing young people to Jesus. A lot of young people who are dealing with suicidal ideations start encountering the love and power of God. And a lot of the pain that they were dealing with just seemed to fall to the wayside when those amazing things happen. 2017, the Lord spoke to us to go to every single Nunavut community. In 2018, there are 25 Nunavut communities. 25 Inuit communities. So we launched in 2018, traveled to 19. Last year, we hit the remaining 6 communities. And Brian, we saw absolutely amazing things happen. I was abused as a teenager, and God healed me of that. And the Lord told me to tell young people in every community in Nunavut where the highest abuse rates exist, tell young people that God heals sexual abuse, and that Jesus is here to help them through whatever it is that they've been going through. So we saw well over 800 salvations in our travels across every Nunavut community. Coming into this year, the Lord said, "Stephen, I want you now to start to disciple." And so we launched the Champions of Hope program, which is our discipleship branch of the Arctic Hope Project. And yeah, we're working with young leaders now. The idea is to replicate ourselves in as many different communities as we can. So that's what we're doing now. COVID hasn't stopped our ministry. We've just adapted to more of an online presence.
Wow. You know what? That is fantastic. I'm always encouraged when I hear from you. And I know with your background, many times when God is going to do the greatest work, he allows us to come through the greatest challenges. And when you look at COVID coming on and the pandemic, has it affected the North? And has there been any just disruptions as a result of this, Stephen?
Yeah, well, travel. We were supposed to have been in a number of communities by this point in the year. The moment that lockdown started in Canada, Nunavut completely shut its borders. The byproduct of that is that there are no cases of COVID. There have been no cases of COVID. It is COVID-free, one of the only places on the planet Earth where that's the case. If we were to travel there now, we would have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks, and then we could go. But otherwise, yeah, a lot of people I think are concerned about it. There is a lot of underlying health issues in the North. So for good reason, I think people are concerned, but it remains COVID-free.
Beautiful. I've traveled there myself and spent a lot of time in Pangerton and seen God do miracles. And, the North is so different from the rest of Canada. Can you tell us some good news stories of what you're hearing right now taking place in the North?
We, couple of our champions of hope. One of them is this young guy. He, really quite a violent upbringing. The byproduct of that was he turned to alcohol, substance abuse, and just the other day posted that he's 500 days sober, and he attributes all of that to the teaching that our grandmother shared with him, that you need to forgive. And one day he just said, enough is enough. I need to forgive people in my life. And he turned his life, started following the Lord. He prays every single day. He's one of our champions. Another amazing one was a guy in Cape Dorset, the community that we launched Arctic Hope Project in. This guy, same thing. Father was murdered when he was a teenager. He turned to drugs and alcohol. Last year, the Lord spoke to him and said, "You're to start following me." And so he did. He was Cape Dorset's most prolific marijuana dealer. He was addicted to cocaine, violent alcoholic. In one moment in the presence of God, his life was entirely turned around. He's now the evangelist of Cape Dorset. He's also the deputy fire chief. And so he started baptizing people. And in 1 month, some 50 people got baptized and saved in Cape Dorset last year. So, it's phenomenal what God's doing there.
Go God. Hey, with Arctic Hope, what's next, and how could we? I mean, we just so appreciate partnering with you. How can we pray for you, and what's next?
Well, I mean, look, we still value the partnership with 700 Club Canada. Big thing to do is to pray. We need a church praying, and we've seen incredible things happen when the church gathers and prays. So, if I can encourage your partners to follow us on social media, bpea.com, Arctic Hope Project on YouTube and Facebook. We've got all our updates there. But yeah, we need to see the North in a revival. We need to see the North absolutely suicide free, and we serve a God who is powerful enough to do that.
Well, you've got our prayers, and we're with you. Stephen, I look forward to further updates with you, and keep up the great work, and God bless you as your twins come into the world, and God continues to expand your family. Well, this is such a powerful truth of what God can do. And Wendy Lawson found out the same thing, that nothing is impossible with God. He still answers prayer. This is her story.